For today's yoga snack, I want to talk about the shoulder girdle, and I want to talk about ways that you can help provide support for this area, especially when you're in particular poses, tabletop and or plank, because it's going to be the same position for the upper body. In these particular poses, I tend to see a lot of discrepancies when it comes to the shoulder joint. So I want to create some awareness around this area so that your practice with your yoga can have longevity and continue to build support and strength here versus a wear and tear on this really shallow ball and socket joint. If I'm talking about tabletop or plank, the upper body is going to be in the same position. My shoulders over the wrist. Start with is doing scapular push-ups. So if I allow the body to kind of drop into the shoulder socket, I'm kind of just hanging in this joint. The more that I start to lift up, and then even rounding, there's a little bit more of a kyphotic curve here, almost like I'm going to go into a cat pose. Range of motion within this shoulder joint, the more I can start to find that sweet spot and what feels good in my body. So there's a little bit of engagement here. If I start to lift the knees and go into a plank, there's now a weight-bearing component that I need to be mindful of. So I might lift out of that shoulder a little bit more, a slight dome of the upper back. And then as a result, notice that the belly will naturally start to engage as well. If I start to go back into that hinging action, notice what's happening in the low back and the hips. There's a lot of pressure here on that low spine, which is not good. So the more that I activate that lift and focus primarily on this area, the more I'm gonna also support the low back and the spine in a really healthy way. If you use these scapular push-ups as a way just to create that awareness of your range of motion and how far you can actually go within that joint, and then being mindful when you're in more weight-bearing poses like a plank, that you might have a little bit more lift in that upper back so that you're not dumping into the shoulder joint, and that will help support more in the back, the spine, all that good stuff. If you have any questions about this, as always, reach out. I'll see you next time.